Wild hogs that once grabbed headlines are now posing a very real threat. People laughed in 2019 when a man decreed gun control legislation because of wild pigs. How, the man asked on Twitter, do I kill the 30 to 50 feral hogs that run into my yard within 3 to 5 minutes while my small kids play? His answer was a large rifle. Mocking him and the ferocity of wild hogs became an internet sensation. But some people knew the man, Willie McNabb, had a point. Feral hogs can be dangerous and destructive. In fact, while they clearly caused problems for this man and his family, they are now posing a serious threat all over the world. The problem began in the late 1980s and early 1990s when Canadian farmers imported wild boars from Europe for their meat. But because they're wildly intelligent animals, some of them escaped, either by digging under fences or simply dashing through them. And after boar meat was no longer in high demand, some farmers just let their remaining enormous pigs roam free. With all of these wild animals exploring their newfound home in Canada, an abundance of unforeseen problems emerged. People thought these new four-legged Canadian residents would merely die off when the brutal winter arrived. But they didn't. Researchers were stunned by their resilience, and soon enough, their swine descendants were terrorizing Western and Central Canada, British Columbia, etc. They were everywhere. In fact, according to a 2020 study in molecular ecology, genetic data taken from 6,500 American feral hogs proves that most of these current swine terrors descend from a wild boar that interbred with heritage breed domestic pigs. And thus the feral hog empire began. These monsters, which can weigh up to 600 pounds, thrive on environmental destruction, bulldozing through crops and grasslands, causing erosion, tormenting livestock, and eating whatever they can get their snouts into. It gets worse. Feral hogs have a combo of wild and domestic traits, which include their ability to withstand cold temperatures. They have a prickly coat that's layered over thick fur, and birth large litters. Considering their combination of tenacious traits, they've been deemed super pigs. As put the University of Saskatchewan's wildlife researcher Ryan Brook, suddenly, fear has struck us. If we had true Eurasian wild boar without any domestic pig, this whole issue would be a lot easier to handle. Reproductive rates would be lower, he said of the feral hog empire. The animals were even pulling off feats that blew experts away. These creative pigs built their own above-ground shelters, which researchers have cleverly deemed pigaloos. We should be worried because we know the biology. They're called an ecological train wreck for a reason, Ryan Brook stated. Said shelters are made up of heaps of cattails, which the feral hogs chop down and then hollow out. Ryan explained that these pigaloos hold enough heat to produce steam on the chilliest of days. This is odd for a number of reasons. One being that, in the US, these feral hogs reside in the south and warmer coastal areas, such as Florida, Texas, and California. But they seem to thrive in Canada's coldest regions. The coldest spots, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, sort of north-central, is where we have by far the most pigs, Ryan said. Though they've been building their sadistic empire for over 2 decades now, the feral hogs weren't really a problem until a short while ago. Doctoral candidate at the University of Saskatchewan, Ruth Asham, said that until recent years, no one even knew they were there. Ruth and her advisor, Ryan Brook, spent 3 long years tackling the spread of these pig hellions via trail camera images, GPS collar data, and information directly from landowners, farmers, and hunters. The results of their research, which was published in a paper in Scientific Reports in May of 2019, showed that these wild hogs have spread vastly from their original farmhouses over the past 3 decades. And there's no sign of stopping them. Canadian wild hogs are known to munch on wheat, barley, and canola, but they're far from vegetarians. If it fits their mouths, they'll make it a meal. So small reptiles and mammals, ground-nesting birds and eggs, are all up for grabs. When the massive mammals vigorously force their way through large fields of farmland searching for bugs and roots to snack on, they often wind up undoing a ton of farm work. They really are menaces. The rooting is really something to see. It's almost like a small backhoe has gone through some of these pastures, explained Perry Abramenko, an inspector and pest program specialist for Alberta Agriculture and Forestry. According to Perry, feral hogs also enjoy sloshing around in streams, which causes erosion and water contamination. Aside from the ecological annihilation, experts are also concerned that these boars and the domestic pigs could be swapping potentially infectious diseases. It just keeps getting better and better. The population of these feral pests is increasing rapidly, and it's starting to raise the issue of compromised safety for motorists. Ryan Brook and other experts are concerned that there's no extensive plan in place to reduce the number of feral hogs in Canada. Meetings don't eradicate wild pigs, Ryan said. He has a point. He can't help but be jealous of the offbeat animal improving its environment in another better part of the world.